Hi everyone, this is Bryce with The Root Group. Hey, welcome back. It is Root of the Matter, and we are very fortunate to be with Carol Johnstone. She is the owner of Popstar Booty Camp, and it's a crazy name, and it's a business that's really interesting to me that I think a lot of you will be kind of interested in hearing how to go about marketing a business like this, because it pertains to a lot of different people. So Carol, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Excellent. So let's start off with you being able to kind of give us your elevator pitch.
Sure.
So you, in a nutshell, what is your business all about?
Yeah. So it's called Popstar Booty Camp, which is a mouthful, but it kind of encompasses everything that I'm doing. And I would say that my business right now is two-pronged. And sort of the mainstay of my business is I offer 7-week dance classes based on a pop star pop song that's usually a hit.
Okay.
So Beyonce, Britney Spears, The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, you name it. If it's got some choreography attached to the music video or the live performance, then we offer it as a dance class. And then we perform it at a nightclub or as a flash mob. It's really fun. I've been doing it since 2014. But then there's this other, and this is what I'm hoping you can help me with.
Yeah.
Because things are going fine with that part of my business. I mean, it can always be better, but it's going just fine. But the other part of my business that I'm interested in developing is when I invite, and I have done this, when I invite the actual pop star choreographer to come up, usually from LA, to offer a master class to the Bay Area. So for instance, Beyonce's choreographer would come up from LA and teach his choreography to Beyonce's song. In this case, I'm thinking of Run the World Girls.
Okay.
So it's great fun. It's something that's been very successful here in the Bay. Literally hundreds of people go to these master classes. They're only offered, it's just a one-time thing. I want to bring these master classes to other cities, and that's where I need your help, because I've built up, quite a following since 2014 here in the Bay. But I don't know anybody in Seattle, and I don't know anybody in Chicago, so that's, to me, seems like a pretty daunting challenge. So I've had Janet Jackson's choreographer up, I've had Beyonce's dance captain up, I've had one of Beyonce's choreographers up, I've had the Broadway show Hamilton choreographer up. So they love doing this. It's a really nice way for them to make some money on the side.
Sure. And
when I've talked to them, because they've been very successful when they've come up, when I talk to them and I say, hey, sort of floating the idea, what do you think about the idea of my bringing you to other cities in the US? They're totally all for it. They're all in.
Excellent.
So I already know I have buy-in, so that's great. So now the only part that I don't have, that I could really use your help on is what I'm imagining is the marketing part of it.
let me ask you this. Who is your target customer? Who is the person that's going to sign up for these classes typically? Who is your optimal customer?
Yeah, my target market, and this has just been borne out over the years I've been doing this, is usually a female between the ages of 21 and 35. And part of the reason they take my dance classes is because they love to dance and they want to learn these cool, iconic routines. But it's 80% of my audience easily is female.
Okay. Well, my first thought is to kind of begin to map out what you need to do in each market. And when you do that, you start to visually put all the pieces together so it's not as intimidating. So if you can start to look at the dynamics of that target customer and where they typically hang out, what they typically watch, what they do on social media, all of that, you can very easily go into each market and do, I'm a big fan of doing Facebook and Instagram ads, only because you can be so specific
Yep.
with the demographics of that person. So say it's Atlanta, say it's Seattle. If you know the dynamics and the profile of your target customer inside and out, you can literally pick neighborhoods that have kind of a larger gathering of those types of people. And your ad, maybe it's the one thing I noticed on your social media and on your website is you have videos of people doing, like, practicing or performing. But what would be cool is having the video of the performer next to the person. So you have like side by side, which would be super cool.
Yeah.
And if you had that ad going to, like, with the headline, learn how to do your own Beyonce, or some catchy headline that is only going to those ladies in that market in certain neighborhoods that maybe they typically shop at, say, Forever 21, or they, in Facebook and Instagram, you have very, very detailed criteria as to who that ad can go to. And all of a sudden, if you have something visual where they not only see like themselves, like that same 30-year-old, but then they see that person juxtaposed next to Beyonce or Britney Spears, and maybe you pan out and there's an entire room of people doing the same thing as Beyonce, that would be pretty incredible. And then the fact that you mentioned learn from Beyonce's choreography coach here in Seattle, limited time, class takes place, these dates, only 50 spots exist. And being able to have that visually for people and only go to those people could be pretty dynamic. And so then you can investigate, maybe there's certain hashtags that you should always be on top of that you include, like Seattle Dance Club or Seattle Dancers or whatever it might be. And just imagine if you have that kind of recipe for success video that really strikes a chord with those people, and you develop that program that goes into each market. So say Atlanta, Iowa City, Seattle, San Francisco, all those different markets that you want to be in. That simple ad can advertise exactly what they're going to get. And maybe you have a landing page to your website that's specific for that market. So everything's very detailed, like as to the venue, what they get as part of that kind of class package, everything that they get from the, maybe there's a gift bag, maybe there's something that they get after the fact, whatever it is. But if you're trying to be in multiple places across the US, really the super easy way to do that is a Facebook and Instagram ad, because you can literally do it so cheaply right now.
Right.
For as cheap as like $1 a day, you can have that video, say it's the side by side of the soccer mom next to Beyonce.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same exact thing.
Super powerful image.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you have that, and all of a sudden, maybe you have like a quick snippet of like the instructor saying, "Hey Seattle, I'm coming to town. I'm taking a break from Janet Jackson's tour. I'm gonna be with you. This is what you get to look like at the end of our 8 weeks together." And then you have that entire just all-encompassing kind of package laid out for them. And you talk to any hesitation, any like perk that would just blow their socks off. Maybe there's a signed, autographed item from that actual person, maybe from Janet or Beyonce, whoever it might be, for the first 10 people that sign up. Another aspect of that is you could kind of search out those micro influencers in that market. So you can very well find like some pretty popular, I don't want to use the word socialite, but people that are into that whole dance community, that have a very large following, and when they post something very cool, there are hundreds that like it. There's lots of comments, lots of activity and interaction with that post that they do. So say you got like maybe 4 to 5 of those ladies to be kind of your secondary ambassadors for your booty camp that's coming up for that market. And they're kind of also helping address and kind of promote the fact that there's only 40 spots, and maybe they get a friends and family promo code that they get to share with their circle of friends and community. And if you have 5 very popular people sharing that, you could sell out relatively quickly, because that's a very centered, very focused kind of community that they're tapping into.
Do you have any tips on finding a micro influencer? Because ideally, I mean, who knows? I'm not totally wedded to this concept, but I guess ideally, I would find a micro influencer in Chicago or in Seattle that whoever this person is has a lot of say in the dance world in their city. I would not know how to find that person easily.
Well, if you just did a simple Google search for top Chicago dance companies, and you went to that website, and then you looked at maybe the instructor page, and based on how detailed the website is, you might see that, oh, they have this instructor that has all these credentials, that has a huge following, all his classes or all her classes are sold out.
Right.
And maybe they even include his or her like social media handles.
Right.
Oh, I can find him on Instagram. And then you can go on Instagram and direct message him, say, hey, it looks like you have quite a following, and I think I have a pretty cool scenario that could work out well for you here as we come to town with this portion of our tour, or however you term it.
Yeah.
And you can start a direct conversation with that person. And if you find the right people that way, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, you can direct message them and start that communication and work out some type of deal, like maybe for the month and a half leading up to the initial class, the debut class. Maybe they do offer a friends and family discount, or maybe they can offer the contest to their following,
right?
Something like that. But just think of like where those people are and the community that they belong to. Like maybe there's dance troupes or dance contests. You look at the dance contest that takes place every year in Chicago, and maybe their website shows like who last year's winners were. You go, okay, this lady, she won the gold prize, and you find her on social media. You go, hey, it looks like this could be an awesome opportunity for you to be part of the Popstar Booty Camp that's coming to town, and would you be interested in this? And then you can start the conversation of, okay, would you be up for helping spread the word to your friends and family, your community?
Right, and maybe
it'd be as simple as that.
Influencer a free ticket to the class or something.
Exactly. Maybe they get maybe the 4 influencers that you find get a secret one-on-one session with the master teacher that's coming to town.
Yeah, that's a great
to
idea.
Make it like a no-brainer for them to go and do this for you.
Right. I'm wondering if there's something I could be doing now to start to build up a list in Seattle or Chicago or whatever cities I decide on, so that I'm not just starting from nowhere once I nail down that date.
You know what you could do is have like a contest, maybe Facebook or Instagram contest, where, hey, our master class is coming to town and we're nailing down the date, but if you want to be part of this, we're gonna have a special VIP experience for 3 people. And the only 3 people the 3 people are chosen from our official email fan list. And so if you can get all these people to sign up and just with their email and say, we'll notify the top 3 winners via email. And then all of a sudden you have all this interest and you can kind of judge how things are going based on the number of emails that are coming in.
Yeah.
What you can also do with those emails is actually you can create Facebook and Instagram ads that only go to those people as well. So if you have maybe say 200 emails from these people that are interested in being part of it, you can all of a sudden like let them know, advertise just to them, send an email just to them. You can maybe ensure that you have, say there's, how many spots are typically making up these classes? Like do you have 30 spots or?
100. But there aren't too many dance studios that can fit more than 100 people. So that's sort of the number.
Well, it might also be not only the influencer, but also if you can find venues that are up to speed, have a modern marketing machine behind them.
Right.
They can also be your ambassador for promoting the event as well.
Yeah.
There's some antiquated venues that they just have a website and they put you up on their calendar, whereas there's other people that are more marketing savvy. They have a whole social media department behind them.
Yep.
They can help promote it as well. But going back to your question, like maybe there's a certain number that you need to hit. And so maybe you devise like there's a 2-week window where your influencers and are offering that friends and family discount, and the first 40 people are able to get that friends and family discount. And then maybe you have an early bird discount for people that aren't part of their circle. So you have basically 2 machines that are kind of running to make sure you make your minimum. Maybe it's a minimum of 60 people where you break even. And then the 40 plus people after that is just icing on the cake.
Right.
So just being able to, it might take some experimentation, but if you have kind of this awesome, just really spot on perfect Instagram, Facebook ad that's running in the market, you've reached out to the influencers with a friends and family discount, and you have the right type of VIP offer that you can kind of essentially tap those influencers to help spread the word. And then you have third, the venue also promoting on your behalf. You have 3 kind of big marketing machines that are helping get the word out to a very specific dance community.
Yeah.
And you might be able to find like maybe there's certain dance meetups. There might be private Facebook groups within those markets that you can also maybe sponsor or offer, do a similar offer of like maybe it's a friends and family discount just for that Facebook group. You really need to really research that market and see what exists. Like maybe there's 3 primary dance schools, and maybe you don't pick the biggest dance school, you pick the second best because they want to do something that's bigger and better than their competitor.
Right.
And so they're the ones that are more hungry to do something like what you have, and so they want to partner with you.
Right.
So it's kind of doing some really deep recon on what that market is like without physically being there. Doing a lot of kind of investigative work, due diligence via Instagram and Facebook, finding out what the dance community is like. Maybe you can tap a friend of a friend that is in that market. Maybe through Facebook friends or LinkedIn, you can find that person and say, hey, love to spend 20 minutes on the phone with you and just kind of find out what the dance community is like who are the movers and shakers and key players. And you can find out real quickly like what the community is like without even being there.
One gal is actually a friend of mine. There's this, she represents this French dancer that went viral on YouTube, and he's huge now. It's amazing. It's like YouTube put him on the map. He's super talented, but she takes that guy all over the country and he easily sells out every venue. He's got a huge social media following. Do you have any suggestions on how it could be a win-win? Because really her audience is that she's, worked hard for is the same group that would be my audience. And she's got all their email addresses. And I just feel like I want to pay for it or do something that will compensate her for access to that mailing list.
Well, maybe you could create like some an added value, or maybe all the early bird people that sign up, like maybe it's the first 40 people that sign up, get a special VIP experience with that dancer on the second day, or maybe they get some type of experience that no one else gets, like a how-to dance session. Who knows what it is, but being able to have them be part of the event that you're putting on and part of the series, you then are able to offer them value because maybe there's a revenue share, or maybe it's just exposure in that market that they don't have exposure in, that they're being able to piggyback on maybe the media buy that you're doing with Facebook ads or Instagram ads to give them exposure. And then in exchange, they will then help promote your event to their community as well. And maybe what they're promoting is your roster of events, because maybe it's that dancer that's more on a national basis and have followers from all over the place. And if they can help promote your Popstar Booty Camps like throughout the nation, like your full roster or schedule, you can work out a win-win.
Yeah.
It's just helping each other out from time to time, because there has to be something in it for that person.
There has to be, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it's
very
part.
She can help me so much more in my mind anyway than help her, and so I would want it to be balanced.
And maybe it's a VIP experience of some kind that maybe it's that pop star's dance instructor that's coming to town can have like a dual experience, or maybe it's a separate experience that maybe it's a VIP experience that the first 30 people can have if they sign up just with that dance star, that YouTube dance star.
Right. That's a cool idea. Thanks.
Yeah, so just think of like what they would want out of it and see how you can create that for them.
Right. It's tough when, because it's a lot of work. I mean, she has to research all these dance studios and she has to do all that, the promoting and all that stuff. But once that city knows that this guy, this YouTube star is coming, they're all in. So it's great for her. It's like I said, it's still a heck of a lot of work, but I just think that her challenge to get the spots filled in the class is not quite as much of an uphill battle as it is for me, if only because the guy's got, I don't know, 800,000 Instagram followers,
Sure. Well, I'm thinking that there's some type of dual event, or maybe it's a one-day only part two. Like maybe it's sign up for your standard booty camp that you're doing, and the first 30 people that sign up get to have a post initial like workshop with this dancer too, that you're not able to get before they come to town, or coming up with some really unique, really custom, awesome VIP experience that any dance related fan would be like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. Just make it a no-brainer for them to pull the trigger and sign up.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the Facebook and Instagram ads are an easy way to kind of infiltrate a market. And if you can customize the message and the visual to that market in some way with landmarks, B-roll footage of landmarks, and the headline, attention Chicago dance fans, or something that really resonates with them, you're going to be able to get on their radar. And if you're doing that maybe a month and a half ahead of time, and meanwhile you have those maybe 4 or 5 influencers within the dance community promoting the friends and family. You have the venue, and then you bring in the whole YouTuber that's promoting it too. You could have 4 really strong machines working for you, and you're not even there.
One thing that I hesitate with Instagram advertising is that other than in your bio, there's no way to put a live link in the ad, right? Is that still the case?
The ad is completely separate. So if you create a link in the ad, it can be separate. I'm pretty sure it's separate from your actual profile, because it's a completely separate entity. It's like the ad is separate from like a natural post. So you specify when you create the ad, like where someone's tap takes them.
Oh, right, like at the bottom of sponsored.
Yeah, you could even
now or learn more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And within Instagram, there's I use it. It's called Linktree, LINKTR.ee. And what it does, it gives you a custom link for your bio. So when people tap that, they then are taken to a branded page that you create, and you can I have like, I think 5 different options for them to tap on. So like I have what I do, public speaking schedule, boot camps, whatever it might be. I have like 4 or 5 options, so it's more than just one place I can take people when they click on my bio. So if I do a new blog, I don't want to have, because as soon as I do the new blog and I say tap link in bio to see the newest blog, and then a week later I have to switch the link to something else, then anybody that sees the blog post 2 weeks down the line goes, I can't get to the blog now.
Right.
This allows you to have 4, 5, 7, 8, however many you want, links to something to take them to the right place.
That'll keep me busy if I start to work on these sort of different ways of coming at the marketing stuff for getting into other cities. But I really like the idea of kind of pre-marketing in a city, because otherwise, like I said, I've just been putting this off because I'm so scared,
I tell you, if you have those kind of 2 or 3 like pillars of marketing going for you, it could be the influencer, it could be the ads, and then also the venue, and then also the YouTuber. It could be 4 really impactful pillars of marketing working for you, and you're not even there. But just making sure that all of it's very custom to that market, so they feel, right, they know that you're dedicated to their market, and it's not just this corporate marketing machine that's taking advantage of it.
Right.
So that's where the influencers come in handy, because they're speaking to they're vetting your operation, and that's why they're promoting it.
Oh, thank you, Bryce. I really appreciate it.